guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, my name's Lex. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and ring the notification bell so that you can get notified every time I post a new video, which is a couple times a week, usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I'm so excited for today's video because it's very special to me and I got this idea from Laura Lee. I'm sure if you're watching this video, you definitely already know who she is, but she did a video where she used her oldest makeup in her makeup collection. So that inspired me to do the same, and we actually have something in common, a 10-year-old Urban Decay Naked palette, which is my first eyeshadow palette ever. So this is very special to me, something that I'm probably going to keep in my collection forever. I'm not saying that this is a good idea if anybody else wants to try doing this, using like old expired makeup, because some of this is definitely expired, let's be real. I just thought it was a fun idea and experience the nostalgia of it all. So let's get right into the video. So I already took a shower and I put my Truly Beauty CBD Glow Serum, my favorite serum, all over my face. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the oldest primer that I have, which is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. I didn't really know what primer was back in the day when I first started doing makeup, so I barely used it. And since then I found primers that I like better. So I'm not particularly in love with this primer, but like I said, it's the oldest one that I have. I'm gonna squirt some of that on an M6 brush from Morphe. And this has like that really like silicone-y, like smooth finish to it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put this all over my face. And before you do your makeup, you should always definitely wash your hands, especially these days. I'm not even using my hands to put my makeup on my face today because I just, so I'm just using a brush for everything, but I'm just working this into my skin. And it does feel very smooth. When I first started doing makeup, the only makeup that I would put on my face is foundation. No powder, no concealer, no nothing, no primer. I probably didn't even put lotion on my face. I always kind of took for granted the fact that I had pretty decent skin. So I was like, I don't need this stuff. I'm just gonna put some foundation on that's like 5 shades darker to give myself a tan. Okay, so now that my face is primed and ready to go, we're gonna move on to foundation. And I remember going into Ulta, picking out this foundation, not swatching it. I was just looking at the color and I was like, that looks like it's gonna match my skin tone. And it actually wasn't a bad match. So this is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Foundation. It doesn't even have a shade name on the bottle, so I don't know what the shade name is. I'm sure that when I was in the store or on the box, maybe it had the names, but the box is long gone. I remember going into Ulta, picking out the foundation, and it was like hella expensive for me, and I was like, ooh girl, I got some good foundation. And I was like all excited. And I actually do like this formula, so I'm not sure how these products are all gonna layer on top of each other, so we'll see. This actually isn't a bad match for me right now. Don't know what shade it is, but not a bad match. Could be worse. This definitely isn't as full coverage as I would like, but you know, for like those summer days where you have a nice sun-kissed glow and you need a little like tinted moisturizer or just a little extra coverage. Oh god. I think that Tarte still actually makes this foundation. So the oldest concealer that I have like really isn't that old as far as like when it came out. I feel like this concealer kind of shook the makeup community when it first came out because it's like a really well-loved concealer that's still used today. But I would say that I probably got this like 3 or 4 years ago, but it's the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer because I remember seeing it in Ulta and everybody was like obsessing over it. And I had never used concealer before because I never thought that I needed it. So I was like, you know what? Let's give it a whirl. And who would have known that it's still one of the most loved concealers to this day. So I have this in the shade Medium. I'm gonna go ahead and do my concealer as per usual. This actually isn't a bad combo because they're both Tarte products. So hopefully they behave well on top of each other. Who knows, maybe I will go back into my makeup collection and repurchase some of these oldies but goodies. And I'm just gonna buff this out. Same M6 brush from Morphe that I used for my foundation. Guys, I think today is the day where I actually like have to go to the grocery store because for dinner last night, I made myself, ready for this, pasta noodles with vegan mayo, hot sauce, celery, onions, and crushed up potato chips on top. Yeah, that was my dinner. So I think it's time that I go to the grocery store and buy some actual food because like can't be eating pasta and potato chips for dinner every night of quarantine. That is just not gonna work, no ma'am. So like I said, I didn't think that I ever needed concealer until I saw everybody like doing the crazy concealer on their face. So I definitely didn't think that I needed setting powder or even know what setting powder was. I don't really have like an oldest setting powder. I think the first setting powder that I ever purchased was, oh, okay, no. The first setting powder that I ever purchased was by It Cosmetics, and it was like a pressed like photo finish powder, and it gave me the worst flashback of my life. So that is in the trash because first of all, I didn't really know how to apply it, and I saw James Charles like packing it on his face. So I was like, yeah, like I'm just gonna do that. Flashback Central, no thank you. I'm just gonna use this Jeffree Star setting powder that I have right in front of me because it's one of my favorites right now, and I never really got into setting powder like when I first started doing makeup, so I don't really have like an old one. So I'm just gonna use this one. And this is a Morphe R13. Little pointed fluffy brush, and I'm just going to set my under eyes and everywhere that I put the concealer. Yeah, I could definitely see on my neck the color difference between the foundation and my real skin tone, so thank God I have like a little like mini turtleneck thing going on. Yeah, that is like not the same color at all. Carol Baskin killed her husband, whacked him. I love the internet, guys, especially TikTok. What a crazy app. And what a crazy time in the world right now. Next, I'm going to contour my face, and I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit, light to medium. And I remember going into Ulta after seeing on Instagram all of like the little 30-second videos or whatever it was of girls like putting all the cream contour line. And I was like, do we need to be like doing that now? Like, is that like a thing that like makeup people, like, is this what we're doing? I guess so. And I was like, I need to know how to do that, and I need to know how to do it now. So I walk into Ulta, and like these were like a hot commodity at the moment. Like there was like 2 of these left on the shelf. So I go up to the girl and I'm like, hey, you know those videos where people like, you know, do all those things, lines on their face? And she's like, oh yeah, like you want to highlight and contour? And I was like, yes, I want the contour kit so I could do that. And she basically was like, oh, have you ever done that before? And I was like, no. And she was like, well, then you probably shouldn't get the cream contour kit because that's a little bit more tricky. You should probably just get the powder that's more beginner friendly. And I was like, you know, like little miss, like 16-year-old, 17-year-old was like, I know what I'm doing. And thank God there was no cream contour kits left because, you know, like my impulsive ass was like, I need it right now. So I ended up just getting the powder contour kit, and I still didn't know how to use it for the life of me. I'm gonna go ahead and grab an angled E4 brush from Morphe, and I'm going to mix these 2 shades together. I only know the names of them. They're like on the back, but they're not in the right order, so I'm like not gonna bother to figure that out. Why does this look so red? Oh no, did this brush have blush on it? Oh, that's like really annoying and unfortunate. Changing it up, a Morphe E3 pointed blender brush because I know for a fact that I only use these brushes to contour with. So, take 2, much better, much better. Please tell me that you know where that's from. Speaking of nostalgia, comment down below if you know where that's from. If you do, you a real one. You a real 90s kid. It's okay if this is a little pink because I'm obviously gonna wear blush anyway, so it'll probably end up blending together, hopefully, so it'll be fine. So we have our base on, and it's time to move on to blush. I remember seeing this blush at Ulta, and I was like, this is the cutest packaging I've ever seen. This is the most prettiest blush I've ever seen. I need it. And it is this Too Faced Sweetheart blush, and I think that they still do make these as well. This is in the shade Something About Berry. It has the 3 different shades in here, and it has a little bit of a sheen to it. This is my mom's favorite blush, actually, so I actually gave this to her and then stole it back for this video. So I'm just gonna lightly dip into this because I feel like I remember this being very pigmented. My dog's gonna start barking probably. It actually does look pretty though. I usually go for a luminous dewy finish anyway, so I don't really mind a blush that has a little bit of a sheen to it. So we are, oh, my brows. I didn't even do my brows. Okay, so the thing with my brows is I used to not do them back in the day. I thought that I had a nice eyebrow shape, and I was like, it's fine, I'm gonna leave it. I thought that people only filled in their brows that like didn't have eyebrows. I'm just gonna do my eyebrows how I normally do them off camera because like they're kind of irrelevant to this video because I don't have like an old brow product. Okay, so my eyebrows are on, and it's time to move on to the part that I'm most excited for, which is eyeshadow. But first, we have to prime our eyes. I'm gonna use the Urban Decay Potion Primer, the original one, and probably up until 2-3 years ago, this was the only primer that existed to me. Like, I only knew about the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. I used to do my makeup, and don't come for me for this because I've learned my lesson and I know better now, but I used to do my makeup for a night out, use this primer on my eyes, and go to sleep in my makeup, and the next morning I would go to work and wake up and people would be like, oh my god, your eyeshadow looks so nice, and it was literally from the night before, and I'm telling you, it's because I used this eyeshadow primer. Okay, there is some left, thank god. I'm just gonna take that on a flat brush and put it all over my lid. Wow, the nostalgia. Getting ready to go out, taking like 3 hours to do my makeup, which never looked good anyway. Drum roll for my 10-year-old eyeshadow palette. The Urban Decay Naked palette, and this is so near and dear to my heart because I remember my mom taking me to go get it. I think I bought it with my birthday money or something because I didn't have real money at the time. The brush that it comes with is still in here. I'm pretty sure I used just this brush to do my whole entire eyeshadow look, so that is proof that you can do your makeup with just 1 or 2 brushes. But we're not going to use her today because I don't think I've ever washed this brush. And I did sanitize this with 70% alcohol. I sprayed it on there. It is expired, so I don't suggest using expired makeup. This is what the palette looks like. I think it was recently discontinued and they came out with a Naked Reloaded palette. I could clearly see like which shades I liked the most, like this gold one right here and the shade Naked. I think I'm gonna take the shade Duck. It's a light brown transition shade. I haven't used, honestly, an Urban Decay eyeshadow in a really long time, so I'm actually really excited. I just hope that these eyeshadows show up because they are a little old. Okay, yeah, it is. Okay, thank god. I was worried that they weren't gonna work. I don't know if that can happen. Can that happen where they don't work anymore? That mirror is way too dirty. I have to use this one. So I'm just blending this in my crease to use this as my transition shade. This actually is working out really well. Okay. I knew that my old favorites would come through for me today. See, the thing is with this palette is there's a lot of shimmers and there's not a lot of mattes. Like there's only 1, 2, 3 matte shades and the rest are kind of shimmery. So I think next I'm gonna take the shade Toasted. It's like this reddish brown. And I'm just gonna put this on my lid. Oh, that's actually a really pretty color. I really like that a lot. It's actually a really pretty light brown. It has kind of like a rosy undertone to it, which is really pretty. I kind of like how that looks just on its own. Okay, if anything's changed in my setup, it's because I accidentally kicked my camera stand over and I had to like try to fix it. But what I was saying is, I'm gonna take this black shade Creep right here and use it to kind of smoke out my liner. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump over to liner really quick. I remember buying this liner, not this particular one, but this type of liner from Rite Aid, and I thought it was the coolest thing. Like these little inkwell liners that you like dip it in, and I'm gonna go ahead and give myself a little wing, and then I'm gonna smoke it out using that black shade Creep. I've been trying to do like the fox eye trend that everybody's doing. I haven't really watched any videos on it, but I feel like you kind of just have to have that eye shape. But I'm gonna do my best attempt to try to give myself that foxy cat eye look. Okay, so now that I have that as kind of a guide, I'm actually gonna take this Morphe like brow brush. I don't really even know what kind of brush this is, honestly, but I'm gonna dip it into that black shade Creep. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in on an angle with this brush and just kind of feather out and like trace over where I have that liner. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I either don't know how to smoke out my eye or I did it the wrong way. So I just went back over it with the eyeliner. We're gonna call it a day on that and keep moving on. So next on a Morphe E36, it's the same pencil round brush that I used, but the other one was just a ColourPop brush. I'm gonna grab this shade Dark Horse right here and smoke out my lower lash line with that. Okay, so I just did the other eye quickly off camera just to catch them up to each other, and I'm not gonna lie, I hate how this is coming out because I feel like it's reminding me of how I used to do my makeup, like really heavy eyes and like bright blush, and I just feel like it looks kind of like tacky. I'm not really a fan of how this is coming out so far, but I'm gonna do the best I can to try to make this work. I'm gonna highlight my inner corner with the shade Sin right here. It's a creamy champagne shade, and this is one of my favorite shades in this palette that I used to use all the freaking time. Perfect for a little inner corner highlight action. And to highlight my brow bone, just to add a little bit more brightness, I'm gonna use the shade Half Baked, this gold shade, and highlight my brow bone with it because I feel like it's very like dark and like flat. Nope, and I hate that. Oh my god, why do I feel like I can't do my makeup today? So I'm gonna take the same color that I highlighted my inner corner with, Sin, and I'm gonna use that to highlight my brow bone. Should have done that from the first place. So the oldest mascara I have is the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I feel like mascaras you're supposed to throw out after like a few months anyway, and I go through mascaras pretty quickly. So this is the oldest one that I have on hand right now. I'm gonna go ahead and give my lashes a little curl. I feel like I look like I'm going to the Jersey Shore with this makeup right now. Just gonna give myself a nice generous coating of this waterproof mascara that's never gonna come off of my eyes later, because I know that. I've used it before and it is so hard to get off of your eyes. And I always put mascara on before my fake lashes because I like to have a barrier between the two so it's not sticking directly to my natural lashes. And I always put mascara on my lower lash line as well. And this mascara is drying up a little bit because probably older than it should be. This mascara is so old, it's like Clump City. Oh geez. For fake lashes today, I have my Ardell Wispies. I've worn them before, so they're already pre-cut to my eye shape. But I feel like Kiss Lashes and Ardell are like the first fake lashes that girls get into because they're available at the drugstore for a really good price. So I feel like these are the first lashes that a lot of girls experiment with. So while my lash glue is drying, I'm just gonna do my highlighter really quick. And I have two highlighter palettes. Well, I have one highlighter palette and one highlight in front of me because I can't remember which one I got first, but I'm pretty sure I got this Anastasia Moonchild highlighter palette as like my first real highlighter palette that I ever got. And like nowadays, I think that these shades are way too light for my skin tone. I mean, they're all cool tone shades for the most part. They are pretty sheer, so I know that I could get away with it if I do like a nice light layer. This Too Faced Diamond highlighter, again, even if you don't like Too Faced, like you can't say their packaging isn't cute. It looks like a freaking diamond in like a little engagement ring box, so I was obviously like drawn to it. Maybe I'll use one of each because this is iridescent and those shades are iridescent. I'm gonna take an M451 highlighter brush from Morphe and swirl it around in this diamondy goodness that's also probably way too light for my skin tone. And we're just gonna go to town. First of all, it's too light for me. Second of all, no ma'am, she does not. I mean, it kind of just blends into my blush and looks even more pink. I'm gonna grab the shade Pink Heart from the Anastasia Moonchild palette because that's my best bet at having it look somewhat symmetrical. I'm gonna take a new highlighter brush because I don't want to get any more of that other highlighter on myself. Yeah, this is a little bit more sheer and like the pink is a little bit more warmer, so I probably should have just stuck to this, but of course I want to do both. I want to do it all. And last but not least, we have lips. The oldest lip that I could find was my first ever Kylie lip kit, and that is the Dolce K Kylie liquid lip. It still smells like cupcakes with like a little like tinge of you shouldn't be putting this on your face. And I don't know where the lip liner went. I might have used it all or I might have lost it, honestly. Let's be real. I'm gonna do my best just to use the liquid lip. This actually isn't a bad shade. I feel like I remember not liking it. I do feel like it's a little bit harder to like move around and work with. Like once you put it on, it's like stuck there and you can't spread it around anymore. That could be just because it's so old. The final step is setting spray, and this is the first setting spray that I ever bought in my entire life, and I still have like a very tiny bit at the bottom, and it's the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. And this is probably the oldest trick in the book. I used to use setting spray to spray my face because I had no idea what setting spray was, but this is the setting spray version of hairspray for your face. So if you want your makeup to last all night, this is it. And this is what the final product looks like. I feel like the way that this look turned out is very similar to kind of how I used to do my makeup, like by default. I guess like these products just kind of made me look how I used to look, I guess, if that makes any sense. But I actually did enjoy some of these products. The Kylie lip, I absolutely love the color, and I'm so upset that it's old and I never ended up using it because I'm a makeup hoarder, so I just keep buying new stuff and trying new products. Pretty much all these products are good products. They're just old and I probably wouldn't use them all together on the same face. So here's the thing with the Urban Decay Naked Palette. I am emotionally attached to this, but this is just not it for how I like to do my eyeshadow. This look is just not doing it for me. Not particularly the products, but just how all of them look together. I hope that you guys like this video. Maybe it'll inspire you to go through your makeup collection, take a trip down memory lane, throw out your old expired makeup, because that is what we should do. That is the right thing to do, not put it all over your face. but I had so much fun making this video. I hope that you guys liked it. If you're not already, go ahead and click the subscribe button down below and ring the notification bell so that you can be the first to be notified every time I post a new video. Comment down below if you guys have any of these products or if you used any of these growing up. And I'm gonna go scrub my face off now. Okay guys, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.